was an historic election night here in the tri-state, especially in the courts, where there will be a whole bunch of new Democrat judges promising real justice reform. Courier reporter Chris Wetterick talked about that with editor Rob Dahmeyer.
Chris, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So obviously there's the big national election that everybody in the world is talking about and will continue to talk about, but we are local. We focus on local issues and local races, and that's what we want to talk about this morning. Let's talk, though, first about the Shabbat Schroeder race. You had a cover story recently that talked about how not just Hamilton County, but just a lot of local Republican candidates were in trouble. But what did that Shabbat Schroeder race, what did the result tell you?
Well, it was a really interesting race. Going into the race, we thought Kate Schroeder would run in a very strong race. And what ended up happening is she kind of ran behind Aftab Pureval, who was the 2018 Democratic nominee against Steve Chabot. Chabot ended up winning this district by double the percentage that he did in about double in 2018, almost 8 points. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, one of the things that we thought might happen and kept hearing might happen is that suburban people would be angry at President Trump and they would potentially take it out on down ballot Republicans like Steve Chabot. That did not happen. What happened in this race was Chabot did better in Warren County and did better in the portion of Hamilton County that is in the district than he did 2 years ago. So the congressman has kind of proven to be a very resilient political figure in this town. This will be his 25th and 26th year in Congress once he takes office. So, he did better than expected. I thought Schroeder ran a good race, but this is a gerrymandered district. The Warren County part of the district kind of just makes it almost impossible for a Democrat to win there. If you added up the turnout from Hamilton County in both congressional districts that are there, Democrats would easily take a district there. The districts will be redrawn, after the census is released, and so we'll see whether he runs again.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a good story for another day, the redistricting. So let's talk about the Hamilton County. What happened at the courthouse?
So, when we talked about this story back in September, we kind of we looked and see, could there be a sweep of Hamilton County offices, including the judicial branch? And what happened was almost a sweep. The Democrats took control of the Common Pleas Court, which is, any kind of crime that you hear about on the news is going to end up being before that court. Car thefts, murders, whatever. Major crimes are going to be before the Common Pleas Court, and so they took a majority there, which was 6 of the 8 races there. I know that was a very big goal of theirs, and it looks like they have met it. That's going to be a significant impact because they lost the prosecutor's race, but they have really kind of established a beachhead there. They have the clerk of courts, of course, with Aftab Pureval, and now they have most of the judges there. They also took a majority on the appellate court. There was one race for the appellate court between Ginger Bach and Russell Mock. Ginger Bach was the Democrat. She won that race. I know that the Democrats are very happy about this because they have put a lot of effort into winning judicial races over the years. They, what they want their voters to do is to vote all the way down the ballot, which they didn't used to do. Right. And remember, these judge races, they don't have party affiliation next to them. So you have to go into the voting booth knowing which ones are D's and which ones are R's. And so the Democrats feel that they've effectively gotten that across.
Last question for you. Any other races that you were watching that you think are going to be important for Hamilton County?
Yeah, the prosecutor's race was a big one. The Republicans put all of their chips into winning this race, and they won it. So, I think I wrote on Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, very early Wednesday morning, that this could have been far worse for the Republicans because they they really wanted to keep Joe Deters in the prosecutor's office, and they did. The impact of that is, it's kind of unknown. There's been rumors for a long time that Joe Deters was looking for, kind of an exit path. And so they now have won that for another 4 years. If he decides to leave, the Republicans can appoint his replacement. So we'll see if that happens. There's been a lot of speculation that Greg Hartman might be the guy to do that, the former county commissioner. So we will wait and see. Could be something that happens in a couple of years. Could be something that happens in 3.5 years. So we'll see.
Well, you had a great story a couple weeks ago on this whole thing, and I felt personally very prepared to kind of wade into these results, kind of knowing a lot more about what was happening. There were a couple surprises for me as well, but I do think this is the story that you wrote said it, and it's, we've finally hit this seismic shift in Hamilton County from R to D with a few exceptions. So we'll have to see how that starts playing out, and I'm sure you'll be covering it. But thank you very much for being here, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right.